The Seattle Seahawks, in uniforms that looked a little like the Oregon Ducks.
That was bizarre. That was bizarre.
Defeated the Los Angeles Rams on Thursday Night Football to take over the lead in the NFC West.
Look at that. Look at that. 12-3, baby.
And they officially clinch a postseason berth. As Luke mentioned earlier, San Francisco could pass the Rams for second if they beat Phillip Rivers and the Colts on Monday night. But for more reaction, we are joined by Farhan Lalji from Lumen Field in Seattle. He looks terrific.
He does.
He's having a great time out there. Farhan, did Sam Darnold finally shut down the narrative once and for all that he cannot win the big game?
Hey, guys, listen, before we get there, I want you to look at the crowd way down there. So they're probably there waiting for Luke's boy, Sherm. But if I had known that Luke was going to be on with me in this moment, I'm guaranteeing I could have got the crowd right here.
No question.
They love Luke Wilson in this
Techno Thursdays.
Techno Thursday, it's a big thing.
Farhan, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I'm your agent. But listen, as far as Sam Darnold is concerned, and I know that as he just runs by me here, I think you, Luke, are probably a little more forgiving than I have been in terms of his play tonight. And I think that he's been outstanding for this team the majority of this season outside that one game in LA. But I don't think I can properly put a price tag on just how poor he looked through regulation in this game. And then all of a sudden he put the glass slipper back on in overtime. You know, we're going to focus on the interceptions, and these are plays that shouldn't happen. And ultimately they led to 14 points in terms of 7 one way and 7 that didn't get on the board the other way. But there were plays throughout this game where he had open receivers that he missed, that he hung on to the ball too long, that he wasn't seeing things down the field well enough. We got to a point late in the game, I think you talked about it earlier, where they're trying to win this game with quick screens and checkdowns and run plays in obvious pass situations. In fact, when Seattle tied it up at 30, they still had 2 more possessions and went 3 and out. But then in overtime, he was unbelievable. You saw the scramble play to JSN. You saw that perfect throw right there to Cooper Kupp. And then he gets to his 3rd or 4th read in the progression to make the play in overtime. For him to be able to stay mentally tough through what was a difficult 60 minutes of regulation, the second time he's faced this team and has had challenges, and if you go back to last year, he had some challenges the first time he met them as well, along with the game in the playoffs. So, you know, it would be easy for the Rams to get in to Sam Darnold's head, but he stayed tough, and when his team gave him an opportunity in overtime, he made every play that was required. And, you know, you can say what you want about did he get over the hump, but he certainly earned a lot of respect from his teammates if he didn't already have it, but just that belief in the group that you can put the ball in his hands in critical times.
Farhan, I got a question here, man. I'm watching the first half. You know me. I'm watching the first half, and I'm like, what has happened to the defense in Seattle? Because they were getting gashed in the run. They were getting pushed around, and I'm sitting here going, well, we're cooked. We're lucky to be only down 6. Second half came around. They dominated the Rams in the run game. What changes did you see?
Well, it looked to me like they brought another defender closer to the box in the second half. But you are right. And in the first half, LA was able to control first down so effectively. They were able to get 6, 7, 9 yards on first downs on a regular basis, and they were able to control second down and then control the rush. But what happened midway through the fourth quarter, they finally got pressure. I thought up to this point, I didn't think that Matthew Stafford was going to need to take a shower after the game because he was just so clean and so comfortable. But right here, he started to get lit up. You saw Nwosu, you saw Lawrence, you saw others get pressure on him, and it absolutely changed the game. He didn't miss anybody in the first 3.5 quarters, but he started missing players after that. He started throwing the ball out of bounds. He just didn't look as comfortable, and that was the big difference because this guy had 300 yards passing at the end of the third quarter, finished this game with 457, but the biggest difference for me in terms of what Seattle was able to do, you're right, they stopped the run. It allowed them to control first down, and then they could rush the passer a little bit more effectively. When it's 3rd and 2, you don't know what's coming. When it's 3rd and 8, you do. They rushed the passer, and they were able to get pressure on Stafford because until then, they just didn't.
All right, Farhan. Jay, I got one more. I'm putting you on the spot here, okay? And I think we feel similar. I'll say this. Seattle has a clear path to the 1 seed. Do you still, or do you view them as a Super Bowl contender? And when I mean a serious one. When you think of the NFC right now, you think they can come in here and win the NFC and go to the Super Bowl with Sam Darnold?
I think I think they can, and I think playing here matters. I mean, you were part of this twice.
Absolutely.
Seattle's been to the Super Bowl 3 times, and they've all done it as the 1 seed, playing here, and that matters. Now, that said, you look at this team under Mike Macdonald the last 2 years, they're 13-2 on the road. So they are comfortable in that environment, but they have been getting better, having won the last 3 games at home. The crowd's getting a little bit more involved. It's like the crowds that you played in front of. And the one thing that scares me when you watch a game like today is that level of inconsistency on both sides of the ball. It was actually the special teams that got them back into this game, not just the return by Shaheed, but Dixon with some big punts, pinning the Rams deep, some good coverage. But if they can put it all together, and they've shown elements of it throughout their game, this was important for Sam Darnold because we know what happened at the end of last year. They've got 2 more road games to go. That San Francisco game is going to be really difficult for them on the road there, and that could decide the division. But if it gets to that point, once you get here, weather's going to be a bigger factor. I absolutely think as the 1 seed, even with Sam Darnold, this team is a legitimate Super Bowl contender.
Oh, there it is.
Hey!
Putting it on the line. Farhan, before we let you go, Puka Nacua. Oh, I mean, a lot of noise surrounding him going into this game, obviously. What can you say about this guy? Like, he looked like an absolute monster out there. 225 receiving yards and a couple of big catches in OT.
Yeah, I'm not sure the podcast that he was on where he started trashing the officials. He needs to get on Film Don't Lie with Luke Wilson.
No question.
That would change everything.
You
because
are my agent.
He'll be able to say all the right things. But look, a lot of noise around him. He made some comments that weren't flattering. He had to apologize for those. And then you don't have Davante Adams, and he got into this game, and he was unbelievable from start to finish. And that was coming off a game last week where he had 181 yards, 225 in this game, 2 games, 406 yards in 2 games in a battle of 2 of the top receivers in the league with JSN on the other side. You'll see the number of catches he makes. Here's one he doesn't make. This goes to Smith, who's wide open because 2 defenders on that play went to Puka Nacua. Where they needed him late in the game, he was getting double covered. He still found ways to get open. He was able to make plays over the middle. He was able to make plays on corner routes. He was able to break tackles and get additional yak yardage. This guy, when you know he's the focus, you know, Matthew Stafford, even with the no-look passes, this guy just finds ways to continue to get open. And wow, what he was able to do again without Davante Adams in the lineup, that was a big-time performance. 225 yards. Back-to-back career highs for Puka.
I'd say that was a big-time performance from Farhan Lalji.
He's on fire right now. He's dialed in. I love this guy, man.
He's electric.
Electric.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
There you go.
There he is.
See you guys.